Thank you, Mr. Moderator. My name is Sadi Jafarov. I'm the first secretary of the Embassy of Azerbaijan in Germany, and my question will be addressed to President Sargsyan. Mr. President, what do you think? In the South Caucasus, we have now regional development projects. And are you find that Armenia today is outside those projects, especially the projects in the field of energy and transport? With this in mind, I want to touch another issue that if there was no conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and if the territories of Azerbaijan were not under the occupation by Armenia, and if there was no policy of ethnic cleansing of Armenia against Azerbaijan, then probably today Armenia could have benefited from those projects. And
that's like a two-part question is okay.
Yes.
Not a three-part question.
Yeah, this is only a two-part question. I'm sorry for that. But
be quick.
Yeah, And here I have to mention that me personally, I have roots from Karabakh. And yes, and will you, and I think you have to understand that without the resolution of the conflict, and Armenia will not be able to be a full shareholder in the region, and will not be the part of the projects in the region unless Azerbaijani population are back to their countries under the sovereignty of Azerbaijan.
Thank you.
And therefore, just a second. And therefore, my question is.
That was you had the question. Yeah, no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me let we don't have time. I'm going to let the.
I just want to know when Armenia is planning to join those projects, and when I go back to my home.
You asked that question. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please.
First of all, thank you to my fellow countryman for the series of questions, because my roots also go to Karabakh. But I want to start off with a question, a rhetoric one. What do you think if the president of your country is displaying territorial ambitions on Yerevan, and this year we are celebrating 2,800 years of the founding of Yerevan in October. How can the Karabakh issue be solved? The Karabakh issue can be solved, and you, although I doubt a bit, can go back to Karabakh or the nearby regions only and only if the leadership of your country sober up and give up on their unrealistic expectations as to the outcome of the negotiations. You want to live freely, you want to live in Karabakh. I assure you, the people of Karabakh want to live freely too, and they want to live in their historical lands where their heritage goes back thousands of years. They don't want you destroying that legacy, that heritage. And why did a few regions of Azerbaijan end up under the control of the self-defense forces of Karabakh? You know that very well. You know the reasons very well. You know that the Karabakhis, the people of Karabakh, conducted a referendum in a civilized manner. They addressed the Supreme Council of the Soviet Union as required by the then laws of the Soviet Union for the autonomous province of Nagorno-Karabakh to be moved from Azerbaijan to Armenia. In return, your then authorities tried with arms to strangulate that legitimate and lawful wish and demand of the Karabakhis. By the way, back then all the European organizations showed a very positive stance, and they said, yes, Nagorno-Karabakh must self-determine. But you see, war is no place where they hand out free lunch. I hate war, but it so happens that to defend ourselves, we had to create security zones. At this highly esteemed forum, I say again, we stand ready for peaceful resolution of the Nagorno-Karabakh issue. If you demonstrate reason, I'm not talking about the people, I'm talking about the leadership of Azerbaijan. If you demonstrate common sense and you really sit down at a genuine table of negotiations so we understand that this issue can be solved only and only through mutual concessions. I do not want to tax the time of the participants, but it's time to sober up. Yerevan has 2,800 years of history. The Armenian people have been living in our historical land for at least 5,000 years. Azerbaijan and the other peoples who, God knows when, started to identify themselves cannot break the will of the Armenian people. Thank you for your series of questions.